Hey everybody, how are you doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic week. I have been having so much fun listening, or rather, reading some of your guys' goals. Um, I know I haven't heard from everyone, but I can't wait to receive more of those goals. So, question. How many of you have a goal that just seems overwhelmingly enormous, right? That's great. That's great. How many of you threw away a goal because it seemed overwhelmingly enormous and you felt like there is no way I'm going to reach this in a year, right? Yeah, I've done that before too. So, I am here to share with you today one simple piece of advice that I was given that totally tweaked my brain and helped me achieve that giant goal that seemed so massive. Okay, I'm going to share it with you, but just in a second. First, now if you've seen my Facebook video, you already know, and you're here to hear more on this particular topic, right? But if you haven't seen my Facebook video, then I want you to, before I share this simple piece of advice that's so amazing, I want you to think about, as your brain is whirling and twirling, I want you to post your aha below, the thought that comes to you like, oh my gosh, yes, I can do this. I want you to share your giant monster of a goal and that first step that you need to do towards achieving it. Okay, so I want you to post those kinds of things below. And here we go. So the one piece of advice I was given was, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's the whole thing. Now, okay, so I'm sure most of you can be like, oh, okay, I get it. And some of you will get it in just a minute. But even so, how do you achieve this giant goal? You take one step at a time. You have to break it down. Break it down. Okay, so let me give you an example. We moved to where we are, and the school system was not fantastic, still isn't fantastic. And when we moved here, we pulled our kids out of school within the first 2 weeks. I was going to start homeschooling them. I work from home. I'm available. It needed to be done. So I did. But then my brain was like, I don't know how to homeschool. I mean, I've had plenty of education courses because that was a field I was thinking of going into. So, and I've worked in schools before. I've subbed in schools before. It's not that don't feel capable, but how do I build a curriculum how do I know what lessons to put together to make sure they've hit all the different various, topics and subjects and everything that they're supposed to hit in a year? Are you kidding me? Now I'm suddenly made myself responsible for hopefully not having a kid who doesn't know what they're supposed to know in order to be a normal functioning human being, right? So my brain was like freaking out. And then I said, you got to take the first step. The first step, let's just figure out one subject. Okay? Let's go find a book for this one subject. And I talked to some fellow educators, and I found a great curriculum book that between, everything they recommended. And I had my first book for my kids to start learning from. Okay, so then I looked at the chapters And I was like, they're supposed to learn all of this. There was like 144 chapters. I'm like, we don't even have 144 weeks. We have like 180 days. Now, okay, you can do homeschooling for as long or as short as you want, as long as you get in all the information you want them to get in, right? So, okay, can we do a lesson a day? Can we do et cetera, so forth. So I worked it out from there, and we mapped out what they were going to do. And thinking about that, okay, what days are we going to take off from school? Because, there's holidays, of course, that we don't want to necessarily work all the way through, although we did work through some of them, because who cares? And hey, let's take their birthdays off and go have a day of fun. And, ooh, let's do these field trips. And we could bring that into these lessons. And suddenly your brain just starts cranking and processing the details. And you grab another subject book for the curriculum. And, oh, here's another one. And, eventually it just all came together. And my kids, my youngest that I had at the time was in third grade. She was going into third grade, could not find a third grade math book. But I had a fourth grade math book, and I thought, well, we're just going to dive in and keep moving from there and see how she does. And, if it's not working, I can keep trying to find a third grade math book, whatever, but I just couldn't find one. So, we took off with her in the fourth grade math book. She killed it. She conquered that thing like it was nobody's business. And so we just kept going. And in some of the other subjects, she just kind of kept surging ahead. And I only homeschooled my girls for 3 years. We put them back in public school for junior high. And the school system is still terrible, but it was for a particular program that we wanted them to have in the high school. So we put them in junior high so they could get prepared in this district for that program in high school. And all was working out just fine. And, there's some of the smarter kids in the school. So I have consolation that I did not make my kids dumber, and they're doing just fine. But the point being, when we put our kids back in the junior high, my younger one at the time was actually supposed to go into 6th grade. But she'd already done half of that curriculum because of the books I was able to find for her, and we just kind of kept pushing her through. And so she stepped into 7th grade. And she killed it. And now she's a freshman in high school, and she's still killing it. So, she wasn't worse for wear for doing what we did. And we did it one step at a time. One step at a time, right? That's all it took. So another thing you can do is, as you heard me say, I got advice from people who were doing this. I brought in my mom, who was a teacher for 40 years, and she helped teach some of the curriculum to my kids in the areas where I was terrible, right? My husband had been a teacher for 4 or 5 years, and so he's a full-time pastor, but he taught them science because that's his love. That's one of my terrible subjects. So he did that curriculum, and he was able to fit that into his schedule. And they had so much fun doing so many different experiments. And we did you can do tons of field trips for science, right? And science is so much fun to experience. So anyways, this isn't about the curriculum, but the point is I teamed up with other people, and I got advice from other people who were doing or had been doing similar things, right? So that's another thing you can do. You take one bite at a time. You just ask advice from people who are doing it or who have been doing it. And also, you can team up with someone who's just as excited about doing the same exact thing that you're doing, and you guys can do it together and become this feeding off of each other team. I had a teammate once who she asked me, hey, do you want to be a power partner? We called them power partners. And I was like, yeah, sure. We didn't know what we were doing. We kind of figured it out at the same time, but we started texting each other every morning. Okay, what are you doing? Oh, okay, what are you doing? And we'd be like, hey, let's do that together because I'm freaking out and we have the goal of doing the same exact thing. So we did. We went and did the activity together, and it we would laugh our way through and encourage each other through, like, you're rocking it, girl, and oh my goodness, you're killing it, you're doing amazing, and oh my gosh, we didn't meet our goal today, or woohoo, we met our goal, and we could just be there to juggle each other and build each other up, lift each other up. And so you can find someone like that who's doing the same exact thing to do it with you and to do it together. And so I hope your brain is cranking. I want to hear what this big elephant of a goal is that you've got. Post it below, send it to me. And I also want to hear, what is that first step that you're going to take, that first bite you're going to munch out of that elephant? What is it? What is it going to be? I want to hear from you. So I hope you guys have a fabulous Happy New Year, and I will talk to you next year. Bye.